Back on the winning track for your fighting Phillies. 3-2, they beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Bottalico. I'm Michael Barkan. John Kruk coming up in a moment. Ricky Bo, that's an Arizona team that's fourth in baseball with 5+ runs per game on the average. The Phillies pitching staff and defense holds them to 2.
It was pretty impressive. Let me tell you something about Luzardo. He wasn't throwing strikes constantly. He was kind of all over the place a little bit. As a matter of fact, ran a lot of 3-ball counts. I mean, his pitch count was getting way up. And what happens? Boom, he has like an 8-pitch fifth inning.
Yep.
Just out of the blue. How does that happen? But he settled right in. He gave up 2 earned runs. One of them should have been an error on Cal Stevenson out in center field. But we know Major League Baseball doesn't do that anymore. And it's just one of those things where Luzardo, even on probably is not his sharpest day, does not have a lot of problems getting people out. And that to me, I think he's just like an ace. I know a lot of people when he came over here were like, wait a minute, we're looking for a left fielder, center fielder. What good is this guy going to do us? This basically gave the Phillies 3 aces right now.
Yeah, and they're really pitching well. Let's go across the street for the crossover. Check in with John Kruk, presented by Chapman Auto Stores. John, Jesus Luzardo, to pick up where Ricky started, the way he displayed himself, 95 pitches, but at one point he might have been throwing 195 pitches, and he settled down in that one inning and really pitched well. His ERA went up to 194, which is still stellar, but if not for that miscue in center field, he still might be even lower than that. He pitched well, didn't he?
Yes, he did and he didn't. He pitched well because he kept the Diamondbacks off the board, except for the 1 run, or the 2 runs. But he found a way, and I think that's the sign of a great pitcher, because his 4-seam fastball command wasn't very good. But, man, he started going to that sweeper and the changeup and, kept these hitters off balance until he found his 4-seam fastball. And, I agree with you 100%, Rick. This guy's an ace. His stuff is right, and he wasn't right tonight, but he still held down a very, very, very good offensive team like the Diamondbacks to just a couple runs. And, that just shows you what he's made of and shows you why you get so happy about watching this Phillies team play, because these starting pitching that they've had and the way the bullpen has pitched here, recently, that, there's some pretty positive things going on here.
Yeah, and you know what? The bottom of the 7th was huge. I mean, the Phillies looked, I would say, mediocre in the middle innings. Not a lot of good at-bats, and then all of a sudden the 7th inning comes along, and you get 2 left-handers against Jose Castillo, and they both go deep.
Yeah, well, it's no surprise with Kyle, but I think this could be one of those things where, Rob, the last 2 nights, letting Max Kepler hit off a lefty and not pinch hitting for him, that has to do a world of wonder. Even though Max has put up some good years in Minnesota, it has to be a big sigh of relief to him that, maybe now he trusts me. Or not trust me, but maybe I proved to him now that I can hit lefties. And, because we talked to Kyle after the game, he could hit 30 homers if he gets the right number of at-bats in a season. He's done it before in a bigger ballpark in Minnesota. And I just think that, you throw that bat in the, 6th or 7th spot in the lineup, depending on who's pitching, and you have the potential of a 25, 30 homer guy hitting that deep in the lineup.
Hey, John, when you really look at this game, and I know the Phillies bullpen has struggled at times this year, but 2 2/3, 1 hit. They only threw 33 pitches tonight. I thought it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Tanner Banks has been really good. Matt Strom's Matt Strom. We know what Matt brings to the table, and he's been stellar. He was great tonight. But, Tanner Banks, to bridge that, to get to, in the 7th inning, to get to Romano in the 8th, and then Alvarado in the 9th. Tanner Banks has done a heck of a job for this team, and it takes all of them. But when you get to the end, and Jordan Romano, I think he's figured something out. There was talk about he might be tipping pitches or whatever, but his last few outings have been pretty good, and we know Jose Alvarado. He's going to come in with the triple-digit gas, and then the 92 to 95 mile an hour cutter, which is almost like a living hell for hitters. But yeah, it's if it continues like this, the offense is going to get kicking at some point and start just demolishing people like they have in the past. And we're here to see it, man.
John, lastly, Rob Thompson says Johan Rojas has full body soreness before the game. He can't go. I want full body soreness like that after that catch he made. Was that especially after the miscues he had the game before? To see that was spectacular, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable, because when that ball left the bat of Gurriel, I thought, golly, just make sure you play it off that State Farm sign the right way. And then, you see this flash wearing a City Connect uniform come flying out of the air. And, look, he knew he was going to hit the wall. He knew he was going to collide with it. There was no getting around that. But it was not lucky. It was a great athletic play. But if he doesn't make that play and it hits the State Farm sign, Gurriel has a minimum of a triple. And now the tying runs at least third base, with no outs. And we've seen Alvarado get out of those jams before, but I wouldn't want to have seen that again tonight. So, I know Alvarado got the save. Romano, Banks, Strom, and all them, Banks got the win, but Johan Rojas deserves a save for that one.
He sure does. John, in the top of the eighth, it seemed to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Eugenio Suarez hit a shot out to center field, and Johan Rojas caught it, and the crowd was kind of like, hey, nice job. Did you sense any of that or not? We do give it to him in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship sometimes with every player that's ever played here. But, the man does play hard. And yes, he's young. He's going to make mistakes. But, full body soreness to leave it out there when you couldn't, Rob Thompson had to sit you because of full body soreness.
Yeah.
Because he's swinging the bat well. And, to knowing that he was going to, do some more bodily damage running into that wall. I don't care if it's padded or not. It still hurts like hell. But once he made that, that play, you can see Alvarado. You could just, while they were tending to Johan out in center field, you could see Alvarado just, okay, this is over. And it was over.
Yeah. Give me some of that full body soreness. All right, buddy. We'll check you tomorrow.
Karma.
Thanks so much. Karma, indeed.